Welcome back to Tim Talks, the real estate show where we talk about real estate, life, and a little bit of everything else. Did I even do that? Right?
25 episodes, getting new members on it.
Welcome back for another episode of Tim Talks. It is April 27, 2023. And this is a milestone for us. We are returning to the show, a recurring guest, friend of the show, lending with Josh the lender, Swaggy J. I don't know.
Lender Josh.
Lender Josh. Yeah. Welcome back to the show.
Hey, I appreciate it. Happy to be here.
Yeah, this is exciting. Since you were last on the show.
No. Cut that out, please.
Damn it! Since you were last on the show, you become a homeowner. I can't even say it with a straight face now. You bought a house, okay?
Yes.
Bought a house. Had a near scare on it with the $6,000 flashing replacement. How are we doing on that?
We're good. We're
Okay.
good. It actually it pays to have people that you work with. Meeting a unique or a diverse amount of people. One of my clients is actually a roofer, so it kind of checks out. And he was like, "Oh yeah, that's an easy fix. I'll come do it. A lot cheaper than that quote." So yeah, we're looking good on that. And yeah, love the home. It's been a ton of fun, and we're excited to be there for a long time.
And how awesome was your realtor in that whole process?
He was okay for sure. No, he was great. You were great.
I think you're gonna keep talking about it in third person.
Third person. Nah. Tim was an incredible realtor. 10 out of 10 recommend. I was able to negotiate a ton for us, and yeah, we're just super grateful to be there. And it couldn't have gone any smoother. What
do you have to say about homeowners that would have a golden retriever, right?
Yes.
That would be getting a home shortly.
I'd have a few words. If there's any carpet in the house, block it off. That is lesson number one. That's an expensive repair. That's the biggest thing. And vacuums, Roombas, huge wins. Huge wins right there.
Texts me 2 days after moving into his brand new home. Not brand new, but it was very updated. And the carpet's just mutilated.
Shredded.
Completely mutilated. Cool. And yeah, it sounds like he went through that procedure that all male dogs have to go through at some point.
He did. On the road to recovery.
In
fact, it's been like one day and he is bouncing off the walls. So a little concerned, but
he likes it a little too much.
He's just, he's all over the place. He's a crazy dog.
Good for him. He's come to terms with it.
He has.
All right. Well, we're back. A lot has changed in the market since you've been here. Please give us your crystal ball prediction. I'm going to say whether or not I agree with you or disagree with you after every statement that you make. So please, Josh, what do you see? Where do you see not the rates going, but like where do you see the housing market going? Like rates can be a part of that, but where do you see? Because so many people ask me, they're like, "Where's the market going?" I'm like, well, it's like asking somebody to like, I don't know, explain to you how like the rules of basketball.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I can like, how long do you have,
Yeah.
So like just a quick, crystal ball of where you think the housing market's going over the next year. So from now till April 27, 2024, where do you think we're going?
Well, I would say disclaimer. Yeah. Nobody truly knows. I think experts make their best guesses. We make our best guesses, but just to kind of save ourselves in the future, I mean, nobody truly knows, but we're kind of in a predicament right now. Just it's a very different market. I would not say it's a bad market. I think it's a great time to buy if it's if the time and place fits for your situation. But I would say we're in such a weird place where rates are still a little high. Historically they're not bad, but from what we've seen recent years, they're definitely still high, but also inventory is very low. Yeah. So it's making for a very complex situation where, we're trying to combat inflation and bring these rates, we want the rates to come back down, but, they keep climbing because we're trying to combat inflation. But the issue is that there's not a lot of homes. So there's still a lot of competition and those prices are still being driven up. So it's kind of makes for this like odd predicament.
Yeah, I'll agree with that statement. I would say I don't necessarily think it's a great time. I don't think it's a great time for everyone to buy or sell. It is a great time to sell. There's just your home's going to fly off the market right now. I wouldn't say for certain people it's a great time to buy. For others, it's not. For those who are kind of trying to scrap buy and make every last dollar count, you might want to wait until you see a little bit more inventory come on the market. And that's going to happen in the next couple of months because that summer inventory is starting to heat up. I would say for people who are ready to buy and feel comfortable and they're not going to be house broke and they're in a position they're ready to fire, hell yeah, let's go, baby. Like there's some nice houses out there right now. And I think it's only going to get worse in terms of price. Everyone keeps going, well, at some point the bubble has to burst. And I disagree. I don't think I don't think the bubble has to burst at all.
Yeah.
Because we're dealing with simple like freshman year of high school economics, supply and demand.
Yep.
Like there's just not enough supply. Like too many people want houses. Our Q1 statistics came out and Portland metro area was one of the metros, one of the highest receiving metros for people. People are still just coming from Washington and California and squeezing into Portland, the Portland metro area. So yeah, I mean, I had somebody tell me like, you know, it comes back to that whole, like we always make fun of people that tell us the crash is coming,
Yeah.
you know, the doomsdayers, you know,
For sure.
and it's just like until you get more, until you build more homes and extend the urban growth boundary, they're not going anywhere. Their buyers are going to be here.
Yeah,
so
and that's what makes it so weird right now is because the whole idea with like raising the rates is like, let's weed some people out.
Yeah,
but
let's make the prices go down
Yeah.
because people can't afford the rates.
But when you have a lender and realtor like us who have creative solutions, you know, but in all honesty, like, you know, exactly. In all honesty, you know, like what Tim told us, and I've kind of carried this throughout, the last few months of my business is like when the time and place feels right, like, you know, you'll know. And like, I think it was the case with us, you know, when we were looking, we were serious, but it wasn't like, you know, we want to buy now. We were kind of thinking, you know, maybe 6 months. And then, you know, the time and the place it came up and it was like, this feels right. You know, it feels right. And it did. And, you know, we couldn't be more grateful. And I feel like it's, you know, that's the case for, you know, all the clients that we've worked with too. And when the time and place feels right, the pieces fall into place and it works out. So that would be my biggest piece of advice, you know, with the market. Obviously it's difficult, but, you don't want to go house broke at all, but, you know, the time and place will feel right.
I agree. I definitely agree. It's all about what so many people, they're trying to time the market. They're trying to figure out, you know, exactly the right time, you know, and they're looking around at other people and seeing what other people are doing. And I would also go back to, we're just going to continue going back further and further to like elementary school where your teacher would tell you focus on yourself, you know, don't worry about what the person next to you is doing because their situation's just completely different. Somebody might be in a position that you're not in, or somebody might not be in a position that you're in. Mm-hmm. So when the moment feels right for you, when the time feels right for you, when you can look at your finances and say, everything's in order, we are ready to go, we are not rushing, we are not pushing, that's when you start to buy the house. Not when you go, yeah, the rates dropped by a 0.5 percentage point. This is our chance, because the truth is, everything's good. Everything's going to move with everything else, right? If the rates move down 0.5%, well, now you have just a huge group of new buyers that just entered into the game. So it truly is about what's best for you and what's right for you in the moment.
Yeah, for sure. So, and I would say, like, as far as the market, since I didn't fully answer the question, is I mean, I think we will see lower rates. I think everything is trending in that direction, at least from what we've seen. And one of the biggest indicators of that is inflation. And so the consumer price index almost every single month is consistently coming in just a little bit lower. Mm-hmm. And rates react to that. And so, even the last few weeks, we've seen lower rates than they have. And they go up and down. They kind of jump back up to the 7s, maybe dip to 6.5. So it's not like it's, skyrocketing down to 4.5. And I don't think we'll see that for quite sometime. I mean, maybe this time next year.
Yeah.
But again, it's so hard to predict, a year from now. I mean, I don't
No
think
clue.
nobody predicted that rates would go to 2.5, and nobody predicted that they'd go from that to 7.5.
Everybody that tries to predict rates are like calls a rate or something is like LeBron.
Yeah.
When he's like, yeah, man, I saw
Cap.
it. I knew that Cap, yeah. I knew that rate was going to be down at 4.5 by next year. I just said to myself, they're at 7 right now. They're going to be at 4.5.
Which is crazy. I wish I could remember his name off the top of my head. There's one like, I don't know if he's a market analyst or just a mortgage guy, whatever. He set a date though. He was like, May 10th, rates will go down. Like we'll see lower rates.
This year?
Yeah. And so me and the people in our office have been like, we just wrote it down on our calendar, not even for sake of like telling everyone rates are coming down, but just to like see if this guy's
right.
if he's legit. Cause
like the guy who predicted the apocalypse.
Yeah. I mean, you rarely see people make people won't even narrow it down to like a month. Yeah. Like no, people aren't saying like May they'll come down. They'll usually be like maybe spring, summer they'll come down. So it's crazy. He set a date.
All right, May 10th.
So
he's gonna lose a lot of business if he's wrong, and get a lot of business if he's right.
So don't quote me. I am not saying May 10th. That is not my doing.
Clickbait. Mm-hmm. Lender Josh predicts rate. Okay. Cool. Well, thanks for that update. That's super helpful. For those of you who listen to this show to actually hear about real estate, that's gonna
exactly.
You just got your fix.
Yep.
And now on to other things. For those of us that are building our businesses, we always, we had Noki on here 2 weeks ago. We had Ben on here last week, and we were just talking about. We've kind of gone over a lot of different. We also talked about weight on last week's show with Ben. Body dysmorphia. We started talking about that too.
Oh man.
You're gonna want to listen to that episode.
Yeah, seriously.
Ben was just like trying to get me to express all my emotions on the show. He was trying to
try to get you to tears.
He was trying to bring it out of me. He even had his wife and kid come in here with a box of cookies. Oh, I'm not gonna say that was planned, but hey,
maybe it was.
If the shoe fits. So I forgot what I was saying. I completely lost my train of thought.
Building businesses.
But yeah, we're building our businesses. Woo! Yeah, we talked about losing sleep on Noki's show, and that's pretty obvious right now. So one of the things we have been talking, you and I have kind of been talking about, because I tend to be a very glass half full kind of guy. Mm-hmm. I mean, would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Like
absolutely.
Incredibly glass half full. There is always a solution. There is always a bright way to look at things. That has been cultivated over the course of a few years from realizing that being mad about things is way harder than being happy about things. I think you're sometimes a glass half full guy and sometimes a glass half empty kind of guy.
It's 50-50.
It is 50-50. It's like, depending on which day I catch Josh. And like, there's a million other reasons that, you could be happy or mad about something or see something positively or see something negatively. But I think one of the things that I was wanting to focus in on today is talking about attitude and how that really dictates how successful you can be.
Absolutely.
And how you can move through situations where you just don't necessarily feel comfortable. And, Ethan and I have talked about that before, Peanut Butter Boy. Have talked about that before. Do you know what that means, Peanut Butter Boy? Oh, guess you aren't listening to the show then, are you? That was a test. You just failed.
I just failed.
And again, there goes the train of thought. But, Ethan and I had talked about, how we respond to negative situations, but just overall attitude in general. What are some things that you have noticed your attitude dictate how you respond to certain situations and how you see your business and see the world? It's kind of a broad question, so I'll kind of let you take it and run with it. And then I'll add my 2 cents.
Yeah, for sure. Something that we've talked a lot about as a team is just, that abundance mindset versus what's the other one? Abundance versus
scarcity.
Scarcity
Abundance
mindset.
versus
Yeah.
scarcity.
And I think I've been in the business a couple of years now. I think starting out, at the beginning, I had a very scarce mindset. What's mine is mine. I have to hold on to this for dear life. And, when I lost a deal or, something went wrong, like it was a crushing blow.
Yeah.
Like the world was ending.
Just
so I
ruined
think,
your whole week.
Ruined. So I think like over the last couple of years, that's been like the biggest area of growth is just learning like, man, we're all out here trying to eat, trying to do what we can, and trying to work hard. And I think attitude is everything. Staying positive and having that abundance mindset. Like, hey, all right, this one didn't go as planned. There's more out there. Or, being creative and finding solutions. People that maybe they don't qualify now. And yeah, it's unfortunate. That's not a deal right now. But hey, what can we do? How can we get creative to make it work 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now? So I think positivity and attitude is everything, which is something, I've seen from you, and we've had a lot of conversations too. And you're always positive. And so that's something to learn from and grow from, is seeing like, hey, this guy is doing well and he's a very positive person. And, you see the glass half full. And so, I think that's something to be something to learn from. Absolutely.
Do you think there's ever an issue with being too positive about certain things?
Sometimes. I think it's a hard question because, everybody loves a positive person. But obviously, there's a time to I guess, I don't want to say the word mourn,
Right, yeah.
But just in general, in
time
life,
to be pissed about
there's
things.
times to be upset, and being upset and angry or sad. Those are ways to channel those emotions into something positive.
True.
And so I think that's the biggest thing, is just being able to utilize your emotions and channel them into something that can be used for good. Because when we are dealt like a bad situation, obviously we have these paths that we can take. We can let that anger fuel us in a negative way or in a positive way to get better and grow. And like I said, turn it into something good rather than something bad.
I agree. I think you have to, when something negative happens, or something that could, turn your positive attitude into a negative attitude, I think you have to you have to give yourself a moment to be upset about it, because if you just like pretend, yay, I'm so
Nothing
happy,
happened.
nothing
Yeah,
is
it's
wrong,
fine.
then you're just going to bottle up a lot of frustration. I think we can kind of look back on the offer that didn't go our way about a week and a half or so ago. There was definitely, this was actually, we talked about this on last week, the dream that I had.
Oh yeah. I liked the dream.
It was insane. I did not give myself an opportunity to be pissed off about that situation and have a moment to like just be angry about it for a second. And so I genuinely think that's why I had that dream. It's because there was a lot of like bottled up frustration about it, and it just like came out in my dream.
Yeah, that's
like,
hilarious.
I had a like full on nightmare, woke up like, so I think you have to, have an outlet for a moment to be frustrated about something. Then like it's that Rocky quote. It's not about how hard you can get hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
Yeah.
How good was that? That was
I've
solid.
seen better, but it's up there.
But yeah, it's in every motivational video. But I think that's at the core. That's what it's about. Being frustrated for a moment and then giving yourself a second and then moving forward.
Yeah.
You just have to move forward.
And I think that's what this business is all about. Like, man, I think this has been the most difficult thing. There are a lot of highs and lows in this business.
Yeah.
I would say at 1 week I was like, I thought I was going to get 5 deals in a day, and I walked away with maybe 1. And so like, you're riding this high, and then you kind of, you hit this like crash. And so I think it's learning to deal with those and learning to navigate those in a healthy and positive way. We obviously, like we were talking about, using or letting ourselves be angry, letting ourselves mourn. But I mean, it's all about how you deal with those highs and lows. You can't get too high. You can't get too low. You just got to keep moving forward and, keep working and building towards that success. Cause it's not easy to navigate the highs and the lows in this business, but, it's one of those things that you're going to learn very quickly that if you don't, learn to, to navigate those, it's going to be very difficult.
Yeah. I think you can, I think there can be a problem with being too positive at certain points.
Mm-hmm.
I think you should always be positive and always see it with a glass half full perspective.
Absolutely.
Unless that keeps you from putting your head down and getting back to work. I think if you don't, and I guess that's like not taking the situation seriously enough. I think one of the reasons why my positivity works is not because I'm just like, it's not me just being like a ray of sunshine. It's me being like, there's a solution to this.
Yeah.
There's an answer to this. We'll figure this out. Like when your whole roof deal happened and I was like, no, you're not going to pay $6,000 to fix this issue. Yeah. Let's dig into it. There's an answer to this. And on the other end, the person receiving that might be like, dude, like, let's just be pissed off about this. But to me, I can't take that answer and I will not take that and be a part of that because I'm like, dude, like fuck the feeling.
Yeah.
Let's figure out the solution, you know?
Absolutely.
And I think that's how I run my business. Like when we lost that offer, I was pissed off about it for a second, but then I was like, okay, what's next?
Yep.
We have to go find them a second property.
Yeah.
We have to go find them a new one. Like,
absolutely.
What do you want in this new one? Let's reevaluate what we're looking for. Get down to work, get online, type in the addresses, get to work, because otherwise you're just going to, you're either going to be overly positive and you're just going to be like, this is sunshine and rainbows and butterflies and you're not going to go anywhere. Yeah. Or you're going to be pissed off and you're going to just while away the day being sad. So find that kind of middle ground where you are super positive and uplifting and motivated. That's I think where the work gets done.
And I've experienced both of those, like using that anger in multiple ways. I've experienced like this didn't go my way. I'm going to sit and pout and do nothing today. And it's always a terrible day. It's always a terrible day. I don't succeed. I don't no success is brought up from that. But when I use that to be like, I'm going to make double the calls. I'm going to make double the interactions or connections or messages, whatever the activities are that you do. I'm just going to double it. And I'm going to, for the one that I lost, I'm going to get that one and more. Right. I think that's the difference between how you can channel that anger, channel that sadness or whatever, that grief, whatever you're feeling, not letting it just like ruin your day, ruin your week, get you down, because that's not going to move you forward in your business. And so I think that definitely shows the two sides of the coin, being positive and, using your feelings to fuel you forward.
A piece of attitude that I think a lot of people get frustrated, and some of that and they get down and they don't have positive thinking. I think a lot of that stems from doubt.
For sure.
Doubt in your own ability, doubt in that the outcome will be positive for you, doubt that you'll make your paycheck.
Yeah.
How do you overcome doubt in your daily work? Like, what is your method? What is your strategy for pushing your doubt to the side? Because doubt can be a huge barrier.
Yeah. I would say there's a couple things. Number one, it kind of goes back to that abundance mindset. I think a scarcity mindset can truly crush you. If that's all you're holding on to, because I know people like that, and they're holding on to this one deal, this one relationship or one connection, and when that falls through, the world is over. They can't recover from it. And so I think for me, it's that abundance mindset that there's always more. It's gonna come as long as I stick to the activities, stick to what I do. There's gonna be more out there, and it's gonna come. And I would say secondly, probably my faith. I've been, I grew up in the church, and that's always been something really important to me. And I think for me, it comes down to I trust that the Lord's gonna provide. And obviously this is a very vulnerable moment, but in all honesty, I that's one of the things that helps me overcome. And that doesn't mean I don't get my ass back to work.
Sure.
But like I trust like, hey, it's gonna come, like it's gonna happen, and you know, the world's not crumbling just because, you know, I have some doubts or some fears now. Like you know, I think there will be, you know, provision, and having that abundance mindset really helps, because like I always
agree.
You know, I always have that confidence that there's more out there. And you know, like we said with that deal, like we had confidence, like there's another home. Like, yeah, we're upset, they wanted this one, we wanted this one, but there's another home, and they're gonna love it, and it's gonna be the right time and the right place. And that's what truly matters. You know, I think things work themselves out how they're supposed to be, and it happened exactly that way with my deal that we ran. We thought we found the home that we loved and that we were gonna be in for a long time, and some unforeseen circumstances, it didn't go through. It didn't work, and we were devastated for a second. But literally, like that day, we found the home that we're in now, and like we look back on that last home, we would have hated it.
Oh God!
Like the home that we're in right now is like everything we wanted. It happened the way that it was supposed to be, and I think that stemmed from having an abundance mindset and like remaining positive. And like obviously we were pissed for a moment, but how long would you say we were pissed? What, 10 minutes?
About 10 minutes. And actually on the same phone call, you pulled up and we were like, wait, what is this?
This one's
we gotta go see it.
Yeah. And we saw it that day, and we got it. And so like I think it just, obviously it's a very small sample size, a 10-minute one, but it just shows like attitude is everything, and remaining positive, going back to the drawing board, and you know, having that confidence that it'll work out.
Agreed. I like the faith piece. We've talked about that a lot lately. A lot of the guests that have come on have mentioned, you know, a higher belief in something different, a higher purpose greater than yourself. And I would actually completely agree with that. I think doubt can stem from your intentions being in the wrong place.
For sure.
When your intention is not right and your motivation is not right, I think a lot of doubt can seep in because you're trusting in your own abilities and in your own desires. But when you remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing, and you trust in kind of a higher power or a higher purpose that you're trying to fulfill, doubt moves out of the way, because you're not worried about your abilities to do something. You're not worried about certain things you can't control, because you're just there saying, hey, I'm here to fulfill my higher purpose that I was called to do. I care about the outcome, but if the outcome doesn't happen the way I envision it, that's totally fine. And then all doubt moves to the side.
Yeah, absolutely. Can we get Realtor Tim on stage at church, just like preaching to the choir? He
the Lord says,
man, he's going off right now. I respect it.
No, but I 100% believe that, and I think that's what you said. Like I think it's pretty hand in hand what we're saying. You were mentioning, you know, you fall back onto your faith in times like that, and I think very similarly I do as well, and that that trust in like a higher being and a higher purpose just kind of removes it gives you peace. It gives you peace, because I think the opposite of peace is not, this is a hot take on my perspective. The opposite of peace is not anxiety. The opposite of peace is doubt.
Interesting. Because
doubt leads to anxiety.
Sure.
So I think that, you know, the removal of doubt by finding peace and a higher purpose is kind of what we're all looking for.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's why it's so easy to stay positive. It's because when you're at peace, nothing can really get to you. Exactly. And you feel you see the world as glass half full instead of glass half empty.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. Not to get super deep or anything with Lender Josh here, but there you go. That's why we have these conversations.
Yeah, it's nice not just be the person behind the computer, you know?
Right.
See, I have depth.
He matters, guys.
I'm a person too.
He matters.
I think it's like automated. Like,
congratulations.
They probably think it's literally like,
close.
Yeah, Lender Josh the bot. Like
some of it is when computer. I get like the Happy St. Patrick's Day. May your rainbows be filled
everybody
with a
has
pot
a CRM.
Of gold at the end.
Everybody has a CRM, okay? Oh, gosh.
I can't tell you guys how many times I sent him a screenshot.
He says thank you every time.
I'm like, oh, Josh, you shouldn't have. Thank you for sending this to me at Christmas morning at 2 a.m.
I get clowned on so much for that. All my friends are like, are you serious?
Yeah, but guess what?
Yeah.
we're talking to you, right?
Yeah. See,
It's fulfilling its
Connection.
purpose. Like
Dub.
it's
What a win.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe not conventionally the way you thought it
Which
would.
is like
but
crazy though. That's like one of the like biggest frustrations in business. I mean, you see all the memes like, how could my third cousin from another country go with a different realtor? Like, you know what I mean? But seriously, like it's one of the most frustrating things when like someone I went to school with or someone I was close with like buys a house. I'm like, dude, like you should know that I'm a loan officer. And so like it seriously, like the CRM, even though it's sending like cringy St. Patrick's Day stuff, like it keeps you in front of people.
Keeps you in mind. Keeps you in mind. I mean, honestly, the only real reason I started working with Josh was because he kept like bugging me so many times until like I was like, you know what? Like he was the first person I thought of. Like I actually, the reason I reached out to him was because I had like a crisis with another lender who was like, just like basically fumbling the bag at the end of the day. And I was like, God, I just need to switch over to somebody else. We need just somebody to like come in at the last second. I was like, I don't know. I was very early on in my career. I was like, I know like 3 people. I'm going to give them a call. It was pure luck. But because he was at like, I mean, for the longest time, I probably, if you go back to the very beginning, like there was like a few texts from you that I just completely ignored because I was like,
it hurts.
I know.
He still does that, by the way.
I do, but it's not intentional now. Now it's like, okay, I know that like I know Dame dropped 50 tonight, but like I'll get you a deal instead of responding to this.
But I want to hang out.
I know. We're hanging out right now.
Yeah, you're right. That's
any text that you send me that's related to golf, I completely ignore.
It hurts. It hurts every time.
I'm just gonna say this.
Shatters
I'm gonna say this. I don't really like golf that much.
It breaks me.
I don't really like golf that much.
Oh, mister, I work at a golf course. I hate golf. Stupid,
I don't like it that much.
You're a hater.
It is fun. I enjoy whacking the ball. I don't enjoy the frustration that comes with whacking the ball.
That's fair. But when you hit one good shot, you're like, I'm going to pursue this the rest of my life.
But then I'm left with a sense of complete emptiness after I miss the next 5.
Sure. That's fair. I get it. I do.
Okay. All right. Glad we covered that. All right. Well, now we get to the fun part of the show where we ask you about your greatest fear.
Oh, man. Greatest fear.
What is your greatest fear? And why?
Honestly, I would probably say like losing people that I love. Like that's just it.
Woo!
It's hard. I think that's like biggest anxiety, especially like obviously I got married really young, but like that is like fear number 1, top of the list. Like if I were to lose like my wife, I feel like I don't know what I would do. I don't know what I'd do. And obviously that's very morbid to think about.
No.
But that's another reason like why faith has been super important is like having that like confidence, like it'll be okay, like everything's okay, because it's tough. That's like fear number 1 for sure.
I don't really think that's morbid.
Yeah,
I think that is actually like what we are called to be as Christians, by the way. And again, I know that not everyone listens to this subscribes to the same faith. That's totally fine. I know you subscribe to something, right? Whether that be Buddhism, Hinduism. So yeah, not everyone subscribes to the same faith. That's totally fine. But no, I actually think that's kind of what we're supposed to do. Is we're supposed to actually have the awareness of death in our minds at all times, because it could end at any second.
Yeah.
That's a great fear to have. Yeah. And it's not like, for me, it's not necessarily like a fear, like I'm cowering in the corner afraid of it. Yeah. But for me, it's more of like a constant reminder to like be on top of my shit.
Yeah.
Because like you spend the time with people you're supposed to spend the time with, and live your life the right way. Yeah. Because it could end at any second. Yeah. That's a great fear. You said losing the ones you love. Where would I rank on that list? If I was to sadly pass tomorrow on your list of, A, am I on the list? B, where am I on the list? Like in relation to if Walter was to die tomorrow versus me dying tomorrow.
I'll take you over Walter for sure. Wait. Don't let my wife watch this podcast.
Wait, so if I was to die, you would be more sad about me dying than Walter?
Yes, he's a dog.
Wow, I dog. Like that. That's so nice. Okay.
I don't like Walter very much. No, I'm playing. I do.
Your mother-in-law versus me.
That one's tough.
just winked at me. He just winked at me.
Gosh, cut this, please cut this.
No, okay.
you're up there. Let's see,
um,
as a friend or someone who gives me a paycheck. I don't know.
no, that's the thing is, I know that at the end of the day, like,
Paycheck.
no, the business has come first, but the friendship has followed. So that's been a fantastic thing.
Absolutely, and I think that is like the most critical part of like enjoying your business and thriving in your business is working with people that you can connect with, like genuinely connect with. I might have said this on the last podcast, but like literally when I started my business, I was just hitting up anybody and everybody, and I hated it. I was like, I don't want to talk to this 55-year-old real estate agent that wants nothing to do with me. Like, this sucks. Like, I hated it. I don't want to host an open house with someone who's like about to retire. Like, it's not fun. But like, I think that was like the biggest thing I learned in my business once I started like pursuing people I could actually relate to and connect with and like be friends with. Like, it, you know, I think success has followed. And I would say like when I moved back from college, like, I mean, I grew up here, but I mean, all my friends from high school moved to different states. And so when I came back here from college, I was like, I got no friends. And I would say legit now, like my top 2 to 3 friends are like in real estate, or in the business. Like it's crazy. So, I mean, I would say just connection is everything, and relationship is everything. And like finding people that you enjoy working with. Like that is my like recommendation number 1 to like any like new loan officer or real estate agent, like finding business partners that you like genuinely connect with.
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely critical.
I agree. And just, you know, kiss ass until they follow.
Yeah, dude. I literally met, the reason I reached out is like, I think it's your TikTok about baking cookies or something.
Yeah.
I was like, I respect that. I respect the hustle. And so, yeah.
And here we are.
Here we are.
And here we are. Cool. That's a good fear to have, man. I like that. That was a good answer. Noki said, the Lord. He fears the Lord.
Oh, sure. Okay, that's fair.
He didn't answer it the way that I was asking it, but it still sparked a very interesting conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Did we ask Ben what his greatest fear was? We did not. What the hell's wrong
Gotta have
with
him
us?
back.
I think it was because I was still so traumatized from the dream I had like 2 nights before.
Honestly, still crying. I gotta go listen to this episode.
Wild. No, you go listen to it because Ben's reaction to me, because I told him the story on the podcast, like told him the full story while he is holding his kid who's staring at me like this.
Oh my god.
While I talk about trying to murder somebody with a broomstick.
Can I post this on my Instagram as marketing?
100%.
Like, my real estate agent really
100%. Yeah.
He cares.
Yeah. It was so realistic.
Dude, that's traumatic.
What's really funny is that I did hand you a water bottle and you fully drank from it.
Yeah.
Which was in the dream. That's how you
Really?
died. You got poisoned by a water bottle.
If this is the last time you see me.
Hey, in the dream
This
it was
guy.
Crystal Geyser.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Kirkland,
Kirkland's signature is undefeated, so I trust it.
Okay, but
I trust Costco with my
isn't it
life.
just Crystal Geyser with the Kirkland brand slapped on
Probably.
top of it.
I don't know, but I trust Costco with my life, so
All right.
you know.
Niagara water. Niagara water. Okay. Yeah, that's a good fear. I like the ranking me on the list of people. If
You're
you
up
had rank me on like where am I on your list of, and it doesn't have to be like exact specific, but like on your list of people you would be sad if died, like top, you know, if you were, it's like 1 through 50, you know, where do I rank on that list?
Sure. You'd make the NCAA top 25, maybe.
There it is, baby. I'm
Yeah.
nationally ranked.
He's nationally ranked.
That's solid.
I'd be pretty sad. I'd be very sad.
Yeah.
But it's probably because I'm looking you in the eye right now.
Let's be real. If this was somebody else in the seat, you would say the same exact thing. He wants business, guys.
I tell all my realtors that.
Damn, that hurts.
Hilarious.
Oh, God, that's funny. I got to start asking my guests that question, too. If I was to die, where would I rank on your list of sadness?
You're up there.
That's a really great question.
You'd be higher. I just have a lot of siblings, you know.
That's fair. That's fair. A bit morbid. Well, Josh, thank you for hopping on the show again. This has been wonderful.
Absolutely.
We've covered some really great topics. I think we really got into it with the attitude stuff, and I think that's I just like talking about that stuff because honestly, we have people that listen to it, and it's amazing. But I just love talking about it because it's such an important reminder for myself. Like I will post that stuff on TikTok, and I'll post on my stories and I'll post whatever. I started this new thing on TikTok. And so I call it couch thoughts.
Yeah.
So I'm like, just like sitting on the couch, like, and I have a thought and I'll put it on TikTok. And it's literally just to myself.
Yeah.
But if I record it and put it out there, then I'll remember it. So thank you for joining me once more. Everybody hit this guy up for your lending needs.
Yes,
It's basically him or Rocket for who is better.
Whatever.
I'm just kidding. No, the worst lending experience I've ever had was with Rocket. So I always joke about going back to them, but I would never
again.
I would never cheat on you with Rocket.
Appreciate that.
But yeah, thank you, Josh, for being on the show today, making yourself car sick by driving down here through the winding roads of Hillsboro, Oregon. We'll hopefully have you on again.
Yeah.
Before we leave, word of the day.
Oh gosh, word of the day. Attitude.
Mine's jacked.
Jacked. Yeah, you're right.
Jacked, baby.
You see this? You see those games?
You chose attitude as your word of the day.
That's 235 on bet.
As he holds up his bicep.
It hurts. That's 235 on bet.
Mine was jacked. Yours is attitude. I feel like that's low hanging fruit. It is supposed to be the first word that pops into your head.
I don't know. I'm not good at this stuff.
All right. Yeah. Excuse me. Got that out. Attitude's going. We can end with that. All right, guys. Well, thank you again for joining us for another episode of Tim Talks. Hopefully you got some good stuff out of this. We will be back next week with a guest. Don't know who it's going to be, but we'll have a guest.
Always a guest.
You can bet on that.
Might be lending with Josh again. I don't know.
Potentially, probably not.
Last resort.
This is the last resort. We'll have him back on the show. You guys know the drill. Please go ahead and like, subscribe, follow, all of that good juju, the good vibes. It's karma. It goes around, comes around. Go do it. Get after it. You guys have a wonderful killer week. Love you all. See you next week.